Welcome in to another edition of SE Checks In, presented by First Texoma National Bank. We've got former Savage Storm football player Ryan Harkness with us. Ryan, what's going on, man?
Man, just another day, man. Just glad to be here and appreciate you taking the time to talk with me.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk to me. Ryan played football here, as I said, from Grand Prairie, Texas. Got here in 2010, redshirted, graduated in 2014. We'll just kind of start there. You know, coming from Grand Prairie, why Southeastern?
Man, so I lived in Grand Prairie, played at Arlington High School, got the opportunity to come up to Southeastern and just take a tour. Coach Ford was somebody who brought me up, so I got the chance to go up with my dad. Man, just kind of toured the campus. I remember one of the guys that showed me around was Russell Hurst, so I'm sure there's a lot of people that know a lot about Russ. Good guy. He was from Arlington as well. And I just kind of fell in love with the guys there, and just everything about the campus just felt real homey. So it was one of those things for me that, it was a selling point for me. So I picked it.
So you get here in 2010. What was it like being a redshirt that first year? You know, a lot of people come in, they want to play immediately, like I'm good enough to play. Talk about the importance of that redshirt year for you.
Man, it was tough. A lot of kids come out of high school and you're the man. You're the best of the best on the team. And going to college, it's a different tone, right? So I got there for me, and I started to notice that, man, these guys are a lot stronger than I am. They're a lot, bigger already. So the thing for me was just taking the time to just sit back and learn and just really soak everything in, and then kind of get a vibe of the culture of the team there. So for me, it was a chance to get bigger, get faster, get stronger. And a lot of kids, don't really understand the importance of it. They want to get there and they want to, play right out the gate. But sometimes it doesn't always happen that way. And I'm very glad that I got the opportunity to redshirt, and I think that it helped me for the next 4 years of football.
So you get through your redshirt year. I do remember when we played. Coach Richards, echoed what you said. He always said, "You group of men are the best of the best from where you're from." And then when you get to college, you find out that there's people around you that are just as good. And so, that redshirt year I think was so important for all of us, just to get better and bigger, faster, stronger, and to get acclimated to college life. Because a lot of us, when we come to college, it's the first time we're really being away, no parental oversight and all that kind of stuff. And so, so you get through that year and then you start playing. Talk about playing at Southeastern, what it means to you to be able to put on the blue and gold on game days and just some things like that.
Man, when I think about, getting to play, and I just think about the pride that it gave me internally. It was something that I will never forget. It's one of those feelings, there's nothing like Friday Night Lights, but at the same time, man, there's nothing like college football either. So getting to play for Southeastern for me was just, it was a blessing. There was a point in my life that I didn't know if I'd ever get the chance, and Southeastern gave me that chance, and that was all I needed, and the rest was history from there.
You definitely took advantage of that, appearing in 42 games total. So you definitely took advantage of that opportunity, getting on the field, and that's a lot to be said to be able to step onto the field and play. So talk about, your teammates here, some of the guys you still talk to, because I know you had a really good group of teammates, and now I'm sure you all are still very close.
Man, so that's what's crazy is there's a lot of guys from Southeastern that I met, and there's still a lot to this day that I hang out with. I actually live with Clay Waters. Me and him were roommates in college, and we still have the opportunity to live with each other now. So that Pat Howard, man, goofy guy, great guy, miss that guy, talk to him a little bit all the time. Mitch Manley, I still Mitch quite a bit.
Yeah.
Nick Seosin. I mean, there's so many guys out there, just a good group of men that I met and that I got to just make some memories with that I'll never forget. I think that the biggest thing is for me is we try to think about the games and stuff like that, but for me, the memories with my friends and just some of the I met there, man, you can't beat it.
That's what we get most out of all this is they talk about their roommates or teammates, the people they associate themselves with. I always try to say, hey, think of a play or something like that was big for you. And they always talk about something their roommate, teammate did over themselves, And so, for those that don't know, when Ryan and Clay were here, one was not far from the other if you saw them together. So they definitely hung out all the time. So, you know how that goes. And obviously, Pat, all those guys, we got Pat on one of these a while ago, and he was fantastic. And so, we had a great group of dudes. I talked to Siosin a couple weeks ago, Mitch Manley, that was an awesome group for Southeastern football. And they all are still engaged. That's the other big thing is they stay engaged with us and what we have going on with the golf tournaments and games and alumni and all that kind of stuff. So, it's a good group to have. So you get done playing at Southeastern. You get your degree. What'd you get your degree in?
So it's interesting. I started out as a hyper major, which a lot of athletes at Southeastern typically start as. But I actually graduated with an occupational safety and health degree, and it was one of those things I really didn't know at the time. I wanted to be a football coach, following my own dad's steps. But I had someone reach out to me and say, "Hey, man, just why don't you take a class in safety and just see what you think?" And I met Jonesy there, and he was the chairman at the time, and he threw me in a class, and the rest was history. I enjoyed it, and that's what I'm doing today. So still a part of me.
Another big time Southeastern athletic supporter is Dr. Jones. A lot of the safety majors we get, which is a very, very popular degree on this campus, talk about Dr. Jones and the influence they had. We probably need to get him on one of these for sure. So, so you get done, you graduate. What was that transition like being a full-time student athlete and then getting into the real world where you're working and you have to be accountable, but accountable in different ways?
It was a little bit of a change. When you're a college athlete, everything's structured for you. You get up in class, you have this time to eat, you have this time to lift weights, you have this time to watch film, practice, and so forth. So to have a little bit of that freedom, it was odd for me in the beginning. But to this day, I still talk to him as well. Coach Burks, he was hard on us. He did some things for us there that got us in the mindset for life after football.
Yep.
And he preached on being there early. We used to have meetings. I don't know if you remember Dutton, but we would have meetings in the morning. Would be at 6 a.m. and if you were there at 5:51, you were late.
Yep.
And to this day, I make sure, man, coming to work, I'm 10 minutes early when I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And it's something that was ingrained in me, and it was something that I still do this day. I know that a lot of my teammates that I played with will talk about process, and man, that's what really stuck with me is everything I do is structured and processed, because with everything that goes on in the world, there's a process to it. So man, that was something for me that I just can't put words into it, man. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And, it helped me out.
So being a Southeastern football player and going through that process, I ask this all the time, that set you up to be successful after you got done playing. And for those reasons, especially being upbeat, the values that we had and the core values we had in that program to help you after you got done playing football, because there'd be times when I roll in at 6 a.m. and, you walk by the defensive meeting room and Coach Burks has, some type of music on, and you all are getting ready to go. And then at 6 a.m. door shut, it's time. And so, the kids that showed up at 5:52 learned real quick about Savage time.
Yeah. I was one of those casualties once, and I got to enjoy the meeting from the window outside. So, and that never happened again. But I got home.
Are you on Savage time or are you not?
That's right.
So when you got done playing, where'd you go? First company, first job? Where'd you go and where are you now?
Man, so it's interesting. So I had a couple opportunities right when I graduated, but I actually ended up going where I had interned, which seems to happen a lot of the time. If you get an internship, you have good work ethic, and they see that. typically right after you graduate, they're going to try to hire you. So I ended up at Kaiser Aluminum in Sherman, Texas, and was actually hired by previous safety graduate as well. His name was Mark Mitchell. And I worked with him for about 2 years, and then I got the opportunity to move back home. And I worked at Klein Tools for 4.5 years there in Mansfield, Texas. And I just recently got a new job out by the DFW airport with a company called Play Power, and I'm the EHS manager here. So I've been here for about 2 months, so just fairly new.
Well, that's another reason why our safety program is so good. You're one of many that by the time they graduate, that you've already have a job lined up. That's the one thing about the program that's so special is, 9 times out of 10, you're graduating and walking into a job. And so, and it's a very, very competitive market. And so a lot of our grads, a lot of student athletes have safety jobs, and they're killing it right now because of what they did here. So obviously you've seen on social media some of that stuff we got going on. And I know there's going to be some jealousy and some, a little bit of I wish, but what do you think about that new weight room that we just built?
Oh man, those kids, man, they got it made. They don't know anything about the dungeon days.
No.
So, I saw videos. I know that you sent some stuff out, and man, that's awesome. It's a great thing for those kids. It's a great thing for student athletes to have that. And that's just a way to get better when you have those resources like that.
Yeah.
Man, it's great. It's awesome. So I'm really, really excited for those guys.
I say this all the time, but I still do it. I sometimes walk through, the dungeon and the weight room every once in a while just to remind myself that we don't have to come in here anymore. We don't have to try to clean this up and spin it in a certain way when we have recruits. Now we have a state-of-the-art facility with technology in there, and we've brought a part of the building back to life that really was not operable because of the pool. So we're super excited about that and how that's going to help all our sports, really. So we need to get you up on campus whenever you get some time just to come do a tour, because the pictures are great, but it doesn't do it justice, man. It's just all the backlit branding in there. It's super nice. And I'm so proud that it's ours. It's Southeastern's.
It looks great, man.
It's great.
Hoping we get I'm hoping we get a chance to do the alumni golf tournament again this year.
Yes.
Got cut out last year, and that's a huge event, man. And I know that a lot of us like to get together and have fun and play some golf and just have a lot of fun out there, bro.
When we played, we definitely set the tone, and we will just leave it at that with you, me,
that's
Nick,
right.
Mitch Manley, the crew. This was before I worked here, and I remember we checked in. They looked at who was on this team, and Coach Spear was just like, "Oh my." We had fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I would say that there were not very many birdies made that day, but
no, we parred a lot, but we didn't birdie many. And in a 4-man scramble, that's not good.
That's right.
So I ask everybody this too that played around this time, because everybody brings it up, that I talk to. You got any just hot rod stories? Everybody brings up hot rod and just how that guy was such an infectious person and a teammate, and just, I hated going against him because he would just break pieces of my body.
Well, I have one story with Hot Rod, and if people out there don't know Hot Rod, just a genuine guy, down to earth, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Great story as well.
You're right, but on a football field, man. So if you remember, Dutton was our long snapper, and
yes,
we loved to practice punt. And I was on the old Shield days.
Oh, I remember this.
And I remember that Hot Rod was typically the one that was the wedge buster, if you want to call him that.
Yes.
It was a day before. I think it was a Thursday. We were getting ready to prep for that game, and Hot Rod came rolling up the field, and it was me and Idell next to each other. And he hit me in the shoulder, and I felt my AC joint just pop out. And I was in some good pain. And he got up, and he had no clue what he had done, and I was in this agonizing pain. And that was the actual last day that we did that punt then we went to the different formations.
Spread punt.
So yeah, Hot Rod, man, he hurt us all. If he didn't
Yes.
he didn't just hurt one, he hurt everybody.
He would get that look in his eye, and if you saw it, I just would get out of the way. I would take the yelling. I would say, get in front of him. I said, I'm not getting in front of that freight train that is out of control right now. So but it's so funny because everybody brings a story up about him, and it's such a great story about him, just walking on, graduating, and just golly, punishing everybody that was in his way, whether it was us or someone else. So
and played quite a bit too, man.
Yeah, he did.
He was a good football player.
So what else, man? What else you want to talk about that I may have missed? I always like to end with just keeping the floor open for you just to talk about anything you want to talk about.
Southeastern, the thing that Southeastern really did for me is a lot of kids go to Southeastern and, they look at the town and they look at which has grown quite a bit since when I went there. But I used to remember what Coach Atterbury used to tell us, and just used to always tell us, make it your own paradise.
Mm-hmm.
I think about, and when I talk with my friends and guys that I played with back in the day, that's all we talk about is memories we made in Durant, Oklahoma. And, we made that place our paradise. And I miss it all the time. It was a great place to be. Bonfire, to going out to Sports City when it was there, and just having fun. And,
there was definitely it was a lot of fun off the field. Especially, I tell people the two best summers of my life was when I was delivering furniture and going to summer workouts. Like, that was the best of my entire life, was just going to workouts and just getting broken and then going delivering furniture all day. So it's a great place. And you already answered that. The last question I asked, obviously, is what does Southeastern Oklahoma State University mean to you?
Oh, man, opportunity. Yeah, I would not be where I'm at today if I'd have that university. And what that place means to me will always be, it'll always hold true to my heart. I can't put into words just what that school did for me. The people that I met, the things that I learned, and the people that I still talk to today. Guys that you're going to their wedding or you're in their wedding, and that you just don't put anybody in your wedding. I know that it's just a great place to be. And when kids get these opportunities these days to go to a good university, Southeastern's up there. It's one of the best of the best. And man, can't beat it.
No, it's great. Well, Storm fans, Southeastern graduate, former Southeastern football player Ryan Harkness, thanks again for taking time today. I appreciate it. We've had a great discussion. Encourage your friends, your teammates, and all that to re-engage with us if they haven't. I'd love to sit down with them and talk. When I ask them, sometimes we'll get it. But now that you've done it, you can say, hey, I did this. You got to do it. So help us out there. Keep sharing our message. Keep sharing our vision. Keep being a great alumni. Thank you so much for taking time today.
I appreciate it, Doug. Thanks for talking to me, brother.